Okay, I'm doing this video to showcase a new power supply that I picked up. It's sort of similar to the other models that I've been using. These two right here are both 700 watt models, 57 amp. This one right here is a 750 watt model, and it's 62 amps. Now, these two I have tested up to 65 amps, and they hold the load pretty solid. They don't trip or go into thermal protection, and this is with the low fan speed mod on both of these, and they run pretty solid. I picked this up just because it had a little bit more wattage. It was slightly smaller. I'm not sure if you can tell in the video, but it's the width of it is slightly smaller. The length of it is slightly smaller. So I thought it might give me a little bit of advantage, and plus it has more wattage. Now when I open it up, this is a very compact design. That means all the insides of this are packed pretty tight, which kind of had me worried for, the risk of overheating and everything. But actually, once I put it together, I did the low fan speed mod on it, and the low fan speed mod almost makes it virtually silent. It's still on and it's still running, but it's virtually silent, and I thought that it wouldn't be moving enough air, but apparently I put it under a 50 amp load, and it held the 50 amp load, which is what I'm going to demonstrate in this video. Now, I've discharged the pack. Like, if you see alternating saying that balance port is low, that means one of the cells in this pack I've hit LVC, and the pack is supposed to be a 10 amp hour pack, but it has quite a few cycles on it, so it's giving me 9.65. So I'm just showing that I discharged this pack and everything, and that this charger is hooked up to one of these 750 watt power supplies. I'm going to unplug the power supply just so you can hear how quiet it is, because right now you're hearing the fan of the iCharger, but as soon as I unplug it, the power supply is on. Not sure if you can see it, but the power supply is on. The fan is spinning, but you can't hear it. I'm going to unplug it. Now I hear dead silence, but again, it was so quiet that I didn't even hear it running. So I'll unplug that back in. Alright, so that's how silent the unit is. Okay, so I'm going to plug the power supply back in to show you the voltage without any modifications. Again, that's the fan on the charger kicking in. So alright, so it's holding 12.25 volts, and that's with no modifications done to the unit other than turning it on and the low fan speed mod. So it has pretty good voltage regulation, and actually when it's fully loaded at 4850 amps, it only drops 1/10 of a volt, which is pretty awesome, I think. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the charge. I'm just doing a balance charge, and it says it's set at 30 amps, but it's going to charge around 23 amps because it's hitting the input current limit of the power of the charger. Again, the unit can put out, let's see, where is it, 62.4 amps. So, and the charger only pulls 50, so it's giving it a pretty good load. And you heard the fan is really quiet, it's barely on. And I'm going to charge this 10 amp hour pack at about 23 amps, 23, 24, somewhere around in there. So I'm going to start that up. So it's ramping up now. So it's charging at around 23 amps, and it's set at 30, but like I said, it's hitting the input current limit of the charger, which is around 50 amps. So I'm gonna just next through the menu to show that there is a 48 to 50 amp load on here. And look at the input voltage. The input voltage is holding pretty steady. It's slightly declining. It should hover around like 1210. But I'm gonna check. I'm gonna conclude this video right here, and I'm gonna check in periodically to show you that I'm still charging this pack. So we're 57 minutes, almost a minute into it, and like I said, this is 10 amp hour pack. So it's gonna finish up charge like around 9.7, and I'll check back in periodically during the charge to let you know that this power supply is still being fully, not fully loaded, but it's still pretty much being loaded at around 80-85% capacity with this low fan speed mod that's making the power supply virtually silent. And again, I bought 20 of these models, and I'm selling them for $25. They're unisolated. I'm not going to do any special modification. It's just this power supply takes a lot of work to take it apart and do the modifications and put them back together. So I just really want to get rid of this 20 unit batch. I do have more units over there. Got some ready to ship out. Got some other models done and ready to ship out. But this is the stack that I'm wanting to sell. I have 20 of them, and they're going for $25 a piece, unisolated. Don't ask me for any other features. They'll have the 4mm bullets on the output. My house is currently like 75 degrees, and I'm not having a problem with this power supply dropping out or doing anything stupid or anything like that. Your results may vary. I'm not sure how it'll work out in the sun or out in the field, but if you need a unit for cheap that's solid and reliable, got good voltage and everything, this is the unit. And this is just going to be a limited production run, so get them while supplies last. Thanks for watching, and like I said, I'll check back in and prove that, I'm holding this under a 40 amp load, a 48 to 50 amp load for the entire charge session. So stay tuned. Okay, I'm nearing the halfway point of the charge. 13 minutes has elapsed. Same configuration, same battery. Power supply is I would say is lukewarm. It's kind of warm right in this area, but it's nothing alarming. We're still holding around 4 to 8 amps, and the voltage has dropped down to this. Around here is kind of fluctuating a little bit, but that's what voltage is holding. So I'll check back in a little bit later. All right, here it is. We're creeping up on 25 minutes. It's almost done. The amps are dropping. It's at 86, 67. It's probably going to stop around 95, 9700. So it's ramping down the current. It's in the balancing phase. So it hasn't tripped. It hasn't did anything. Same setup. So, feel pretty confident in getting this power supply. I'm pretty surprised at it. So I should conclude this video. Thanks for watching. Again, I said these power supplies won't be isolated. Like I said, there's too much stuff going on inside for me to, do the ground isolation. I mean, it can be done, but it's too tight to work in there. So these will be unisolated. If you want to run them in series, because like I said, this is a pretty good opportunity to get some cheap power supplies. If you want to run them in series, put some Gorilla Tape or something completely around all the metal parts of the units, and then they can safely touch each other as long as the cases are insulated from each other with tape, cardboard, or something like that. Make sure you do that before you make any series connections. Otherwise, these will be unisolated. If you try to buy 3 of them and put them together without isolating the cases somehow, you might end up with a spark, or the power supply may get damaged or may go into protection. Just letting you know this ahead of time so I won't get any emails or messages saying XYZ happened. These are unisolated.